Hello, welcome to the first ever Raw Data podcast. It feels nice to say this. Finally, I get to share this project I've been working on with you guys. If you follow me on Instagram, you already saw little snippets of it. Just by the way, the intro that you heard in the beginning, that little sound was made by a friend of mine. His name is Ricardo Coelho. This SoundCloud is in the link down below. Very talented guy. He's starting, so give him some love. So today I'm gonna talk with Anthony Perez. He is a content creator on YouTube and on Instagram, and he runs booksuccess.com, which is basically a place where he posts and shares his book summaries. So he goes through books like Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday and all other books about self-development, business, and he makes book summaries. So basically he extracts the practical advice in them and he gives it away so that you can look at the summary and decide if you want to go and read the full book, if you just want to consume that information and move on to the next book. So he's a very interesting guy. We got to know a little bit more about each other as the conversation went on. We talked a little bit about everything, how we got into self-development, our favorite books, a little bit about nutrition, and it's a very interesting conversation. So remember, you have audio form and video form of this conversation. Also, the links for anything we talked about will be in the description down below, or if you're watching on Road Out Podcast, will be below the video or the sound file. So this video, I kind of prefer the video because as I go along, I make a little timestamps on the video itself so that you know what we are talking about, so you can check out. So I guess it's more interactive that way. If you prefer audio, you also have that option. So without further ado, let's kick it off with the conversation with Anthony Perez of Book Success. Hello, welcome to actually the first ever episode of the Raw Delta podcast. Here we have a very special guest, Anthony, from Book Success, and we're going to talk a little bit about self-development, and because both of us are really into the subject, and about books and about just life in general and what it means to be a content creator on YouTube and on Instagram and in the internet. So Anthony, welcome to the show.
Hello, what's up? How are you?
Good, I'm awesome. This is the first time I'm doing this. So
there's always time for everything.
Yeah. So let me just kickstart this by asking you just to a little bit introduction about yourself,
Sure.
What you do, and let people know what's going on.
Sure. My name is Anthony Perez. I'm 20. Tomorrow I'm turning 24 years old, which is pretty scary, turning almost into the late 20s, which is scary. I graduated recently in international marketing in Boston, in US. One of my passions is reading books, especially personal development and business books. And 1 year ago, or exactly I think 10 months ago, I created Book Success, which is basically a book summary website where people go for detailed book summaries. And also blog posts related to topics of personal development, marketing, and business. Besides that, I'm building my own business as a marketing consultant here in the US. So I hope to stay here because I love the US and I love the spirit and the mindset. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, because you originally from Belgium, correct?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. And when did you move there?
Well, you mean to Boston?
Yeah, to the US. Or
yeah,
to
well,
Boston,
yeah. So I studied in Belgium for 22 years, and then last year I moved to the US. It has always been a dream of mine to come to the US, and I have the luck and the blessing that my parents support me financially. Mm-hmm. So I decided to do studies in international marketing, and yeah, that's why. But I love Belgium. I mean, I've built so much memories in Belgium. So, and you're in Luxembourg, right?
Yeah. It's like
awesome.
Right next to me. Yeah, yeah. It's. I mean,
how do you like Luxembourg?
Well, it's. I mean, I'm originally from Portugal, so both like traveling around. But yeah, in terms of work here, I mean, I'm not doing anything related to self-development in terms of working,
Okay.
but yeah, I mean, the weather kind of sucks compared to Portugal,
That's
but
basically, yeah.
yeah, that's not why I came here. But
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, the country is amazing and very clean, and things work well here, which is
Awesome.
nice for a change.
Yeah.
So,
Why did you move to Luxembourg?
well, I moved to study my master's in mechanical engineering, yeah, and now
Okay.
I stayed here to pursue my day job, and I'm doing this on the side, see if this goes anywhere. A little bit like you, now
Awesome.
starting your own stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Totally cool, man.
Did
Do it.
your parents move with you to the U.S. or?
No, 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 no. My parents have my father has a business in Belgium,
Okay,
so
okay,
they both work in the same company.
yeah,
So yeah, no, they're in Belgium right now.
okay, yeah.
Mm.
And what did they? Because I'm also from from Portugal and came here to study abroad, and my parents kind of wanted me to go because they know I have more opportunities here, but they kind of want me to stay. So I
Oh,
wonder
uh,
how was
yeah,
your experience with your parents?
yeah, man. Same. I mean, um, I've had the luck that I'm blessed or born like with I don't know. I feel very independent. I mean, I don't need like someone. My sister is completely the opposite. Like she needs always her friends and the family around. I can just move somewhere if I have like a goal. It's just like go there and I don't need like a lot of support. But of course, I miss them like every day. I would love to see them every day, but I think the opportunity is just so big and I think you should just do something like that.
Yeah, I totally
Mhm.
agree. I
What
think
about you?
I'm also like that. Yeah, because
Mhm.
I wanted to. I have a set of goals that I wanted to accomplish, or I just wanted to have a international experience in general. And
Sure,
I mean, I'm here in Europe, so I mean, yeah, just hopping to the next country is completely different.
hundred
And even
percent.
from Luxembourg to Belgium is
Yeah.
great,
Now,
big.
is that your first time abroad? Like
Yeah,
besides Portugal?
yeah,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, I did Interrail in 2013, just going around Europe, just kind of dipping my toes on each country. But this is the first time I'm kind of going out all in and leaving my parents behind. But yeah, I mean, it was, again, they know the opportunities here in the middle of Europe, so they kind of said, yeah, just do your thing.
Yeah.
But for,
Man, you
yeah.
go for it.
But for the US, it's quite a big jump, right? It's not like if you want to go
It's
home.
yeah, man, and it's also such a hassle. Like coming to the US, like the
Mm,
visums, man, it's such a hassle. Like they're so it's administrative with their processes. Like it's so crazy.
yeah, I imagine. So, so
Even right
let's,
when because
yeah,
I want to stay is
uh-huh,
like it's such a procedure just to get all those documents right and like just staying here in the US is it's very difficult but yeah, find a way.
yeah. But I mean, in terms of opportunities, especially in marketing, I think
Hmm.
is worth it, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
The companies in the US know how to market. Like
yeah,
if you walk here in like a supermarket,
mm.
it's so crazy. You get bombarded like with marketing messages. It's crazy. They know how to do it well.
Yeah, and it's perfect for you to learn from there. Yeah,
Yeah. So
yeah. So now moving on, in terms of, I'm actually trying to find out how we met because I kind of don't know. I think I messaged you on Instagram, right?
yeah, I mean Instagram DM, it's such an opportunity. Like
Yeah,
it's where I get all the connections from.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I think I'm focusing on Instagram right now for marketing because it's just so powerful. Like you can create one-on-one connections in
mm,
like in a blink. Something which Facebook doesn't really allow.
yeah,
Facebook organic reach is a bit dead, I think. Instagram is really where you can create one-on-one connections, and it's very easy.
Yeah, I feel like Instagram and Twitter are the ones. I mean, Twitter also you can message people and not as well as Instagram, I feel, but you can still make that connection.
Mhm.
But yeah, Facebook for me, speaking for myself for Row Delta, it's
Yeah.
dead. I mean, I don't. In Instagram, I can just
Here I'm being interviewed by Road Delta. Say hi.
hello people.
Little context.
Yeah, I was saying that on Instagram I can just put hashtags and I know that people will find it, and I know that there's a lot of people that are, well, it's both ways. It's that people that only wants to like your page and follow you so that you can just follow back, and that pisses me off a lot on Instagram. And then there's actually people like you that actually are producing real content and have a real person behind it, not just a bot, where we can make these connections and make this happen.
I think, and I mean, I've thought about this so much. It's like there are so many fake accounts on Instagram, and
Yes.
I've talked about it in my story, like those engagement groups. So people get in those engagement groups, so they gather in those, and they determine to like each other's posts.
Yeah.
And each time when someone comments, or each time when someone makes a post, they go on that post and they like, and they comment, like even with letters, to boost the engagement and to make the post higher, like reach higher in the engagement.
Yeah. I don't get that.
Yeah, I mean it's they still grow organically because their post gets higher reach in the engagement, and people like who like it will follow. But still, like there's something fundamentally wrong with the approach. You know, like
Yeah.
You're building your account based on a group of friends who just comment on your pictures. So I don't think it's the right approach. But yeah.
Yeah, do you actually know how does it work with the algorithm or with Instagram? How do the posts are promoted? Is it just hashtags, or I don't know. For YouTube I know. Well, I think I know. No one knows, but I kind of have a better grasp than Instagram. Do you know?
On Instagram, it's the hashtags. Yeah.
Okay.
It's hashtags. It's already more difficult than I used to start 1 year ago. Like 1 year ago, it was, I mean, I grew like relatively faster than nowadays. Nowadays, it's harder. I think it's the same with Facebook. The more people join the platform, the harder it becomes, like the more crowded, the more competition, and Instagram makes it difficult. So I think like the more you experiment with new ideas like video or like those swipe posts, more chances you'll have to increase your engagement.
Yeah, because now I see that you only do those swipe posts, right?
Not
Or
only, I
mainly?
still mix it up, but
Okay.
I love those swipe posts. Yeah.
Yeah, because actually the person needs to interact with the post instead of just looking at it, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now you're more focused on Instagram, right? And also building up the book success, the website.
Yeah, that's it. Book Success as a platform, a website. So my plan or my goal is actually to make it like a kind of media company that people contribute from all areas, and really make it like an area where people go for like absorbing information about upcoming books, personal development, all these kinds of things, and at the same time working on online courses, which
about those books.
Yeah, about those books. So right now I'm building on an online course, which the idea is very simple. It's I take the 5 top most life-changing books on each life pillar, health, wealth, and relationships. And instead of just summarizing them in audio, written, and video format, I also provide the tools for people to implement that information into their everyday life.
Yeah.
So you have those book summary websites where they just give you a book summary, you read it in 5 to 10 minutes, and then you forget about it like a week later or after a few days.
Yeah.
That's what I actually want to prevent people from doing.
Yeah. I feel exactly the same. It's like you even. I mean, personally, I read a book, and it's very complex, very a lot of information to digest, and then with time, kind of gets forgotten because there's so many things, and you kind of need time to
100%.
digest, and so then will be you.
What's your favorite medium? I mean, do you love the camera? Do you like to write? I know you. I mean, yeah. What's your favorite medium to express your thoughts and your ideas?
Man, I think I let it dictate me. You know, I definitely prefer video. I mean, it's what I've been doing for a long time. But recently, well, 2 years ago, I started doing the blog posts and also for Road Delta. And it's a medium that I'm not very comfortable still. But if the sorry,
With video, you mean?
with the writing, with blog
Writing.
posts, yeah,
Okay.
to written words, just because it's not doesn't come as natural for me. But sometimes the content kind of fits better if it's written. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I mean, if it's sometimes it's more visual, so I go to with the videos. Sometimes it needs to go a little bit deeper, and it's better to, yeah, it's better if it's written, so you can go much deeper into something. And also, if you post something on YouTube, you cannot go very into depth on something because you also need to make it shareable. It needs to be entertaining, so it kind of demands other type of content.
100%.
Yeah.
Man, I really love your YouTube channel. Like,
Thank you.
for my part, I think you should. I mean, you know Gary Vaynerchuk, right?
Yeah.
He says bet on your strengths, and I think your strength is just video production. Like, I would triple down on videos and just focus on that rather than anything else, because you also have good following on your YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how long did it take you to build that following from over thousands?
So I started the YouTube channel when I started Road Delta. So around, I would say, 1.5 years, 2 years ago when I came to Luxembourg. But my channel in the recent 2 months just jumped like 600 or 700 subscribers from just one video. So
Seriously?
that's another thing about YouTube is that
Why is that? Is that because of the quality of the videos or the keywords or?
Man, it's the secret sauce of YouTube. It's like it's
The
like
unpredictable source of YouTube.
yeah, take notes.
Yeah, I got
So it's like, yeah, the content was good. I think. I mean,
Sure.
every
I agree.
yeah, every time I'm talking specifically that video. So it was, I don't know if you are familiar with Ido Portal.
Which one? Sorry?
Ido Portal. It's
No.
so
What
it's
is
it's let's say a movement guy. So it's like a fitness from the fitness industry, but he's very different. And he has a very specific message, very confusing message, because it's very broad and a little bit esoteric. So basically what I did in that video is that I went through all his content, and I started a video series in Bro Delta called Lessons Behind. So it's basically I go into a person or a concept, and I basically distill the message, the practical advice, a little bit like book summaries, but for people.
Mm-hmm.
And then people really enjoy that because it's very his message is all over the place, so I kind of make it easy for people to find everything in one place. And just it can coincide that Ido Portal was one of the trainers of Conor McGregor. And because of the fight, it really took the video to another level.
Yeah.
So it's like a combination of being lucky, having good content, and YouTube kind of promoting that. Yeah.
I mean, I have the same of a friend of mine. Actually, is also very into YouTube. His name is Shivam. He's a guy from India.
Yeah.
And he has like 700 followers. or subscribers, and he uploaded, Grant Cardone,
Yeah.
the sales guy.
Yeah, the competition of Gary.
He
Yeah,
can't
Gary.
say like how good he is at sales.
Yeah.
But so he was actually putting out a message, like he was selling his little booklets. I actually have it here. It's called the Millionaire booklet or something like that.
Was
it's a
it
small
the one you're giving away, or?
No, it's not that. That one was the Be Obsessed or Be Average. But he also has a book. It's called, I think, the Millionaire Booklet. And he was giving that away, but he asked for positive reviews for people to send them in. And my Indian friend, he made a video, like a YouTube video, sent it to him. And Grant Cardone used it in one of his promotional videos.
Okay.
And man, that video gave him so much followers. Like in 2 days, like his channel blew up, like from 500 to like 700 people. So yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. I mean, in those cases, you see really the potential of internet. It's like if you have the attention, people just shower you with love or with hate, depending.
100%. It's so powerful.
Yeah. So how did you get into self-development?
Very good question. I actually started into personal development when I was studying abroad for the first time. So I was studying abroad in Madrid when I was 19 years old.
Okay.
So that was amazing. And I was always like a very introverted guy before. And when I moved, it opened my mindset. Like I met all those people from different countries like France, Germany, Sweden. And I don't know, I just started to look on the internet what was possible. So I typed in the internet, like, what do successful people do? It was also like the moment when I started to think like, hey, what I'm going to do with my life? Like, am I going to, I don't know, like I didn't really accomplish anything yet. So that's why I also discovered personal development books. That's also the moment when I bought my first personal development books on Amazon.
Which one was it?
The first one was No Excuses by Brian Tracy.
Okay.
Man, changed my life. Like, okay. Super interesting book. You should write it down.
No Excuses. Let me just get a pen.
Brian Tracy. So his message was like self-discipline or willpower is a muscle that can be trained. That was his message. He says like 95% of the people work for the people who understand self-discipline, willpower, and who write down their goals every day. And that was the message that really taught me something.
Sounds very powerful for the first book. Did it break your brain?
Yeah, I got brainwashed in a good way.
Cool. So you got into because you felt the need to, if that you could do more.
Yeah, 100%.
Did you? Was it abroad because someone mentioned it, or just because you felt just the internal need to search for more?
It was also a moment when, like I started dating and like all the things, and YouTube was a powerful platform. And once you start like looking for advice, then you can get into all those personal development how do you say that, concept. So like you can click through on YouTube, like you have a video on like, I don't know, dating, and then you can click through like how to be confident, and then like it circles around the topic of personal development. So you clicking through, and then you get all those ideas and recommendations. And I think that was really a shifting point for me personally when I was 19 years old. What was it for you?
Well, to be honest, it was kind of similar. Okay. It's like
we have one reaction. Sunny Stock says, "Thanks for suggesting this book." So No Excuses. Yeah, Brian, go check it out.
Yeah, I will check it out definitely. Yeah, for me was, I was around 20 or 21, not sure,
Mhm.
in university, in college, and I was always a little bit shy, a shy guy, and kind of felt a little bit of anxiety.
Okay.
So really didn't know why why was the reason. I still don't understand. I mean, I was just like that. And yeah, in that year, I think one of my friends came with the book The Game by Neil. You
Man,
know,
it all starts with dating. That's how it starts.
yeah. And then I got
How,
again
how, old- how old were you when you read it?
20 or 21, not sure, around there.
Awesome.
So it's exactly a little bit like you. So
Guys, the game
Neil Strauss, right?
by Neil Strauss.
Yeah. Also very powerful. So
Okay,
yeah,
go
and
ahead.
then as you said, they circle around that topic. But what I really got me into was the real social dynamics.
100%. That's
Yeah,
where I started as well.
yeah. So always like inner game, like
Tyler,
yeah, Tyler, yeah,
100%
Tyler Owen,
too.
yeah. So and then also like you, they also always go around that topic. And when every time he suggested books, like I would write them down. I want to check what this is. Like 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, the Four Agreements, and 100. The Four Agreements was actually the first one I read, and that one literally broke my brain.
The
And
Four Agreements for people watching.
yeah, by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Oh, is that a Spanish book? The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Luis.
Ruiz. Yeah, it's in English, but I guess the guy has that name. But yeah, from one night to another, so overnight, my attitude and that anxiety went away. I cannot explain until this day, but
That's it.
it just, I don't know, it did something, and yeah. So
That's crazy, man. Man, we have such similar roads. Like
yeah,
exactly the same for me. Book recommendations by Tyler and like other personal development guys, and yeah, it's so similar.
I wonder if it's how guys get into this stuff. Seriously, like, because it's such a common thing that you want to have more success with women, and you start searching, and just because that aspect, especially in real social dynamics and with Tyler conversation, that inner game, let's say, is always present. So
It's a very good question. I think that, I mean, every guy at some point in his life, I don't know, experiences some emotional pain or trauma. Like some guy might get, I don't know, dumped by his girlfriend, or like he gets beaten down by, I don't know, some other guys, or and I think that's when a lot of people start searching on the internet, and they go online and they say like, hi, I really believe that every person, or like at least a good percent of persons, just go on the internet and say like how to be more confident, how to speak up, how to do public speaking, how to raise your self-esteem, like all these things. People start naturally searching for it if they are a little bit down, or like, and then that is when they discover concepts of personal development. And that's personally how I got into it, and it has helped me so tremendously in life. Like I think I would, and I'm serious about that. Like I would never be where I am today if I didn't read all those books. All those books that I've read, like they made
100%, yeah.
me who I am today. And today, what's even funnier, and I really want to talk about this with you as well, is like sometimes it's hard for me to like, and this is quite intense already, but it's hard
Tell me.
to get into a conversation with people who don't see that road of personal development, and
Yes.
people who are still in that same old stuck routine of like doing the same things over and over and not seeing progress, and treating their body like shit by eating shitty foods and not sleeping properly, all those things that I care about.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what's your thoughts about that?
Yeah, I feel like even though that, well, for guys, if they have that trauma or that needs to improve, it's still very rare that I find someone that is interested in these things. And only online. I mean, I don't think I have any friends that actually are into self development.
Mm-hmm.
And self development is just a word that we use, and I guess it's some degree in day to day life. Without you reading all these books, you can still improve with just talking with people, just trying to do better and better. But really into the subject and really learning and studying these books, I don't think. Well, I don't have any friends that are into that thing, and I think it's because you have to love it. I mean, you have to get into. I mean, it's like a hobby. I mean, if you don't get into it, it's because you are not passionate about it. But I feel like everyone should have at least one or two books about productivity or just something that to guide them.
That's it. I think it's even difficult to approach it as a hobby. I think it's really a lifestyle. Like
Yeah. I mean more what we do, like summaries and get really into it.
100%, 100%. That's only for that's a good question. For who is that? But I think the people who approach it as a lifestyle to continuously learn and improve. And I mean, look at the most successful people on this planet: Bill Gates, Warren Buffett. Like these guys read for hours and hours and hours every day, and they just needed to, because otherwise their brain wasn't or wouldn't be able to produce what they could produce.
Yeah, I think it's when you start reading the first book, you realize, shit, there's a lot of things that I don't know, and there's a lot of these books, and then you cannot stop, because and then it becomes a little bit a downside, because there's a lot of books out there and you want to read them all, but then you kind of need to digest and really think about this stuff properly, because some of this stuff are very powerful, and it demands you to dig deep into them and just in your brain just shed all the skins and really find the core. Because I mean, the book tells you a point of view of someone who wrote the book, but they already know the core message and they're trying to put it out there, but you kind of need to get that message and learn it for yourself, and that's I guess the biggest challenge in this in self-development.
That's it. And I believe Tyler made a video about it. He said in one of his videos, he said, like, you can learn the ideas of the best, most knowledgeable people in the world. They've spent years developing that book, like with editors, like with special attention, spend years doing that. And then you can just absorb it into 1 or 2 hours. Like that idea is so powerful. And
and the idea that you can just, I mean, now I'm getting into Stoicism, and the idea that you can just,
for people who are watching, Stoicism, which books do you recommend?
Well, I really the Letters by from a Stoic by Seneca.
Letters from a Stoic by Seneca.
Yeah, and also the one from Ryan Holiday.
Ryan Holiday. If you want to read on Stoicism,
Obstacle is the Way. Yeah.
If you want to read on Stoicism, Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. I also read Life is Short. What is the name? Life is Long. Only if you know how to use it by Seneca. Okay. Fuck, I forgot. One sec. This one. So this one here.
Only if... Well, let me get my notebook, actually.
On the Shortness of Life, Life is Long if you know how to use it by Seneca.
Okay.
It's a little book, and Seneca literally explains, like... so he goes back to his own story as a philosopher in ancient Rome, and he says... I see so many people wasting their days on like on pleasurable activities like drinking and partying and complaining and all those things that
Unproductive.
that are unproductive. And he says, man, if you could focus on the things that you're actually good at, like for a lifetime, then you can accomplish such great things. That was his main message, and I really love the book. It's called On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. Little booklet like this. Yeah, very powerful.
Cool. Getting into that because now, well, probably you saw my post. I'm getting also into Deep Work by Newport, which is already breaking my brain, and I'm just in introduction.
What do you think? What do you think of the book? The book is called Deep Work by Newport. It's such a relevant book in these days. Like, people are distracted by so many things, like social media and.
Yeah.
So what
I feel. Tell me.
What is its main point, or how far did you already go?
Well, I'm still in the introduction, but I feel like I know already where it's going. So it's basically, we are all just addicted to information, into digital devices, and it's actually stopping us from going deeper into what he calls deep work. So actually focusing like 2 or 3 hours without any distractions and just focusing on what's really matters.
Yeah.
And he a little bit like Ryan Holiday in The Ego is the Enemy, or in Mastery by Robert Greene. They look into historical figures. Like, for example, he looks at Carl Jung, and he sees that every time they want to go and really work on something, they usually had a cabin or a tower or a place where they would just go there to work, and there's nothing allowed in terms of technology.
Yeah. I've even read a story by J.K. Rowling for her last Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
She would literally go to a hotel and she would lock herself up for, I don't know how long, but for a very long time to write that final book.
Yeah.
And she really needed a place where she could be in peace and just write that epic piece of content.
Yeah.
Because if you're distracted by family, by social media, by all those things, it's hard.
Yeah, you will not do. And that's actually, I feel like it's one of my biggest weaknesses, is that being able to
Me too.
just, because I grew up on the internet and on the computer. I mean, that's how I know how to edit and how to work with with the YouTube, but it's also a reason why sometimes I cannot focus and I cannot go as fast as I want to go. And I guess this book will not solve that, but at least will give me the tools to start fixing that in myself.
Make you think.
Yeah.
How do you currently try to introduce some form of deep work into your life and not be distracted by external stimuli?
Yeah, so I found that, I mean, I have to...
Thank you to Daddy. Thank you, Sunny Stock. You guys are so good. We're getting good results. Here's my man.
Hey. Yeah, I find that I need to eliminate everything. So no phones, no internet, nothing. And if I want to research something, I try to print or at least write first in my notebook all the bullet points and just remove that distraction. Because for me, I found that if I have a computer in front of me with internet connection, eventually I'll get distracted. It's not a matter of if I will, it's when.
You know what's the really crappy thing? Like, we just need our devices to produce work.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
For example, I live on Instagram and on social media. Like, for me, it's impossible to do work besides that. So if I have, or even like when I need to go grocery shopping, or like I need my phone to check the weather or whatever, like the time, and it's just so part of our lives to like completely, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You know, when I was the most productive recently like I'm writing a script for the next video, and I went to Portugal for 2 weeks, and when I was the most productive was in the flight, back and forth.
Take a flight, guys.
I did so much work there because I was like, okay, I cannot do anything else. I cannot sleep. I cannot. So I just gonna write.
Check Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah. So I guess it's now having those experiences and translating them into.
Yeah. So the main idea of deep work is actually to lock yourself up, preferably in the morning, for 2 to 3 hours, and say, okay, what is the most important task I want to produce, and go and do it first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I mean, the first thing in the morning part, I feel like that's your preference. You should find a time where you are most productive, or if you're more of a morning person. I actually did a video on that, how to determine if you are a morning person or an evening person. So I guess with waking up early, I'm a little bit against that. Not because I actually wake up early, like at 7, but I think it's up to the person to decide that you shouldn't look at successful people and imitate what they do.
A quick question for the guys who are watching: are you a morning or an evening person? And when do you prefer to perform your most important work? Morning or evening? Just comment morning, evening, just to see like little to see what people prefer.
We can actually do a test. It's called the MEQ. So you can Google that, and you can go to a survey and find out.
When Sunny Stuck says morning, okay. Yeah. Go ahead. So the test, what is it?
Yeah, it's like a test where it just asks you for like 14 questions about your preferences to wake up, and just will tell you what if you are a morning person or an evening person, and basically to determine.
And it's called MEQ?
Yeah, if you Google it, Google for auto, MEQ. So morning eveningness survey. No, questionnaire. Yeah, questionnaire.
Okay. So MEQ survey.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, so this one will be a good one. Yeah, in terms of books, I actually wanted to restart the conversation about other people, and what do you feel about actually people or millennials or people from our age group about books. Do you feel like they are reading more or less books, if a little bit more into deep work, so if they actually want to reach for a book and read it all the way through, or if they just prefer the summaries? And what's your opinion on this?
Well, yeah, good question. I think there's a huge shift to online consumption of books. So people with Kindle, I see people using Kindle devices like everywhere. On the bus, it's crazy how many Kindle devices I see. So I think that's really growing. Then there's some people who love traditional published books. I'm one of them. Like I love collecting books. Like I have tons of them. I love to read physical books. But then there's also a huge shift to book summaries. I don't know if you use Blinkist.
No.
Have you ever heard of Blinkist?
No, I don't know.
Okay, so Blinkist is a company that offers book summaries, audio book summaries.
Okay.
So they're growing so fast. Like I've seen them grow so fast, it's crazy. Like I think right now they have over a few million users right now, over like all over the world.
Yeah.
And they call their summaries are divided into so-called blinks. From there, the name Blinkist. Mm-hmm. So blink 1 is like a 1-page summary, and then you just swipe left, and you have like good summaries. It's an app-based. App-based company.
Yeah.
So I see a lot of people gravitating towards that because people are busy. They don't have a lot of time. They want to get the quick nuggets. But then there's also people I know that hate summaries and just want to read the full book because that's how they relate to the story and stuff like that. So I think it's so diverse. Like I think it depends on the person. Some people just like to read the whole book. Other persons like summaries. Some people like digital consumption. Other people like physical books. So I think it's really diverse. Yeah. What's your thoughts on it?
Well, I feel like people don't read enough. Regardless of the medium.
Okay.
It's like I mean, yeah, I personally I will prefer the books in physical form if they are hard copy or hardcover, even better. I also have a Audible account where I have the. But yeah, I mean, I feel like just by consuming, I think summaries. Sorry?
Yeah, tell me. Go ahead.
I feel like just by summaries are great for when you either want to get into a book and just to see what the book is about, and just to see if it tells you what you want to hear, like in terms of advice or what you're looking for, or afterwards if you just want to remember and retain better the information. But just sticking to those and call it, I read this book, but in reality I just read the summary, it's just scratching the surface, you know what I mean?
Agree and don't agree. I agree what you say, because eventually you only learn by getting the whole picture.
Yeah.
I mean, I think there's a difference between a summary, like you have small summaries, like a one-page summary, and you have like 15 to 20 minutes book summaries. Like there are platforms delivering this, such as Get Abstract is really good. So there's also a site called optimize.me, which is also very good. They provide 6-page PDF summaries, and you spend 20 minutes on it. But if you really dedicate your 20 minutes well, then you really have the feeling that you've consumed the whole book. Because, I mean, there's so much fluff in most books, like that sometimes it doesn't make sense to read it all. You know what I mean? So I think it depends on the length of the summary as well, and the amount of detail the summary entails.
Okay, yeah.
I'm obviously a bit biased because I'm building something based on summaries, but you should maybe, I don't know, what's your opinion on, maybe you talk to friends about this, or...
Yeah, no, I mean, I think what you're doing is exactly what I want from book summaries. Like they're complex and they go into depth. But yeah, I mean, now that you say it, yeah, it makes sense that depends of the book summary. So not all book summaries come in the same form.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really interesting because when a lot of people hear book summaries, they think of one page, 200, 500. Like in my mind, it's like a long, detailed, very clear books. Like, you know what I mean? Like a very long book summary.
Yeah.
And when most people hear book summary, they think of like it as a very small excerpt of a book. You know, like it's
just bullet points.
Yeah. So that's kind of the message that I have to communicate in some way, and that I still struggle with.
Yeah, because sometimes the message is so complex that it's really more of a challenge to compress it even more, or try to make it even more, package it better, because the information is so good and written so well that, yeah, I mean, I have that with a couple books where it's a lot of fluff, and those books could be summarized into like
5 to 10 pages.
Yeah, 5 to 10 pages, and then there's those books where it's like you have to write like a whole book just to summarize it. You know?
I'm gonna tell you one book, and like this is the craziest book I've ever read. It's called Civilization and Its Discontents by Sigmund Freud.
Okay.
That's a great Sunny Stock. See, as a morning person, start the day with meditation, then some light exercise. Brilliant. Wow. That's exactly what I do as well.
Keep going. Don't change anything.
Asking, do you meditate?
I did not I tried it a couple times, but I cannot make it a regular thing just yet. I did a couple times and I really enjoyed it every time I did, but it's something that I don't seem to get into the habit of, but I would love to. Not because of the benefits, just because I like to do it.
That's the thing. I'm exactly the same. I have like a kind of hate-love relationship with meditation. Sometimes I love it, and when I'm really stressed, I do it. But sometimes it feels like I can spend my time more wisely. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but I think that's also part of it. Yeah, like if you feel like you need it, you know how to do it, and you will do it. But if you are just sitting there, just what the hell am I doing here? Just go do something else, because you will not be meditating.
100%. Great lesson here. 100%.
Yeah.
We were talking about books.
Like how to summarize is talking about the Sigmund Freud book you read. So that was very dense.
So that was really dense. And so my main struggle right now is, okay, for example, now I'm reading, it's actually there. I'm reading a book on deep nutrition by Shanahan Katerina. She's a PhD researcher in biology. Mm-hmm. She read a book on why we should eat foods that are traditional, so that are not processed and that actually are in alignment with the way our ancestors lived and produced their foods.
So, like whole foods, or she means like.
Traditional foods meaning not going through the process of which they're going now and adding stuff that's not really natural, so to say.
Yeah.
So my biggest challenge right now is how can her book is so fascinated with like a lot of research. How can I make that into a summary that is very simple to understand? So that's one of my biggest challenges, like to convert complex language into a simple message. That's like the greatest challenge I love to do. But
So you also now more into nutrition, or is that? I also wanted to ask you this: how do you determine what's the next book to read? Is it just your intuition or what you are interested at the moment?
Yeah. Well. Yeah, right now I'm a bit biased because I'm reading the books for my online program. So I'm reading the top 5 most influential books on health. So I did some research. I asked people like, hey, which books on health changed your life? And I discovered 5 books. I can tell you them right now. So the first one is Spark.
Okay, yeah.
Spark, it's called The Revolutionary New Science of Exercise in the Brain. Mm-hmm. Then Sleep Smarter.
Yeah.
21 strategies to make you or to sleep your way to a better life and be healthier. Mm-hmm. Then I have Deep Nutrition, which it's phenomenal reviews on Goodreads. And then I have The Power of Habit, which I think is one of the most foundational books to change any habits, including your health. And I also have, for spiritual health, I have The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah, also, yeah. Actually, I have another book there that I would like to show you. I don't know if you know.
Go for it.
Let me just grab it.
Yeah. Hey guys, what's up? Nonfiction Reads. How are you doing?
So this book is The Ultramind Solution.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know it?
The Ultramind Solution by Mark Hyman.
Yeah, Dr. Mark Hyman. And it's also very interesting.
Very complex book.
Yeah.
Did you read it fully?
I think so. I don't think so. I was almost.
I recommend it by Tyler.
Yeah.
Man, I got you.
Yeah, I mean, this book was probably one of the first I bought. It's kind of quite old. I
It's
should read
interesting.
it.
How did you like it?
Yeah, it's. I mean, actually, was nice to just to get the basics of biology and how our brain works and our body works, because before he gets into the ultramind solutions, which is like a method or to to get healthier, he
Yeah,
actually goes into what should you feed to your brain, that
yeah,
fat is really important,
yeah,
all the amino acids, everything. And it breaks down that your gut is really important for your health. Probably one of the most important things that you can improve is your gut health, and also in terms of getting proper omega 3 and getting all these things that
yeah.
are basically fueling your body. And if you don't feed them, you will get all these different diseases that we today see.
Chronic diseases.
Yeah.
It's so true, man. And Shanahan, in her work Deep Nutrition, she also talks about that. It's the Ultramind solution is really focused on how would I say that? For me, it was very technical.
Yeah, it
Uh,
is. It
it
is.
was really technical book.
Yeah.
So it's really like a medicine book actually. But I like how he made the connection between mind and body. So whatever you put into your body, like it affects your brain, it affects your overall health, like the chances of you getting sick, getting chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes.
Yeah, from this book, now I understand that if someone is really moody or is getting pissed off all the time, and probably you shouldn't think that that person is an asshole. Probably you should think probably that person didn't have enough sleep, or it's just it needs to have a carrot, or it just needs to be. It
Yeah,
just needs to.
Moody, just have a carrot, okay?
Yeah. Just feed yourself, take care of your body, and make sure you exercise, and that will fix a lot of problems that you will
100%.
not show to other people, and other people will present those symptoms to you, and you will react differently because you know what causes them or what can cause.
If you eat a lot of sugary products, your insulin levels
Yeah.
will basically spike. But then when it peaks and then it drops like 100%. So what you have like with clean foods, like it keeps you on like a steady flow of energy.
Yeah.
So I call that buzz that you constantly have. It's like
Yeah.
it's awesome, man. Like if you actually eat healthy and you exercise, it's like your brain is so on, like it's so strong.
Yeah, I did that. I don't know if you are familiar with the slow carb diet, which basically Tim Ferriss talked in his book the For Our Body.
Oh.
And it's basically that, yeah, to make sure that insulin levels are constant throughout the day. And I did that for, I think I was 3 weeks, because
Yeah.
afterwards I went to Portugal and forget about it.
Portugal crazy dishes.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, feeling that constant buzz, that constant level
And
of energy. And I eliminated all coffee, all stimulants, and first days was not very pleasant because the body is just used to it.
and okay, so you mentioned the carb. What did you eat then over the day? How did your diet look like?
So slow carb diet is basically you eliminate all types of carbs that are from fast absorption. So that will mean no sugars, no processed sugars, no rice, no anything white basically. So
Okay,
every time you eat carbs
yeah.
needs to be complex.
Okay, whole wheat, like
Yeah,
whole wheat.
yeah.
So whole wheat pasta would be an option.
Yeah, well, in
Yeah.
the book he says not to,
Mhm.
but I think that you can have it. And also a lot of beans, a lot of lentils.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of restrictions, in terms of meat, I mean, you can eat all types of meat. It's more about the carbs. And
Yeah.
it's not about no carbs. It's just that the carbs you eat are not processed. And
100%.
only that shift will make a huge difference. It's crazy. Yeah.
100%. Yeah, it's very powerful. Was there another question?
Well, I think I'm kind of running out of things.
Yeah, man, we talked for 1 hour. It's crazy.
Yeah? Oh, shit.
Yeah,
It was fast.
yeah, crazy. So yeah, I think we're both passionate because like that flow state when you just talk and talk and talk, and
Yeah.
you lose all perception of time. That's when you're passionate about.
And it's nice to speak about these things with someone,
Percent.
Yeah, I mean, this purpose of the podcast I'm starting is exactly to have these conversations with someone and to extract some knowledge from these. Because individually, we have a lot of, we search a lot, like books, authors, we have these different tactics we like to use, but then I feel like those don't come out. You know what I mean? It's not talked about, and it may feel like from our content that we have everything figured out, that we are like these machines that just produce content every day, and it's not like that. Usually we have our inner struggles, and I think it's nice to talk about these things.
100%, man. I think that's really true. That's also like if you have a group where you can share stuff with each other, and that's so like it's all about community, and I agree.
Okay, Anthony, so I'll say that we can close it for now.
Awesome. Yeah, I will shut down.
And that was my conversation with Anthony Perez from book Success. It was really nice to get to know him, especially we have a lot of things in common. That was surprising. So this was the first episode, so please rate the podcast and let me know what you enjoyed, what you didn't enjoy. Leave a comment, subscribe wherever you're watching this, and see you on the next video or blog post or podcast now. See you.